everyone's attention?
No, just leave it, please. Yes, yeah.
I'd like to have everyone's attention, please. Can I have everyone's attention? I just want to say a few words.
Go ahead. You're good. It's all good. I'm just waiting.
I regret to inform everyone here today that the event we had scheduled for today had to be canceled. What we're doing instead is we're having a shopping experience. The Town of Fort Erie delivered a letter to me threatening me that they would give me a $100,000 fine or up to 1 year in jail for exercising my charter rights. So because of this ridiculous and insane law, the interior of my greenhouse is limited to 30 people. So while you are waiting to get into the greenhouse, I decided that I would speak to my customers who are here today waiting to go shopping.
Heck yeah!
So my name is Peter Terrace. I am a husband, I'm a father of 6, and I am a concerned citizen. I love God and I love my country. I am honored that I am the official candidate for the People's Party of Canada in the next federal election. I am thankful, and I will do my very best with your support to defend our charter rights. My intent today is to comply with these illegitimate and ridiculous restrictions that violate our most basic rights. Doug Ford has promised that in 2 weeks, the lockdown will be over. I believe that you'd forgive me if I was just a little bit skeptical about the veracity of that statement. The government wants us to shut up and comply. Big government thinks we are too stupid to make decisions about our own health. This patronizing attitude of government needs to end. Them trying to force upon me what they think is good for me. The choice is stark. It's freedom or these communist ideas. The Premier recently laid out a plan that 70% of the people in our province have to be vaccinated before our freedoms are returned.
Unlicensed, untested vaccines.
This is not freedom. This is blackmail.
Yes, extortion. Doug Ford, the gangster. And the gangster cops that support him.
We are even being threatened that if we don't take the vaccine, we can lose access to government services like health care. We are being held ransom by our own government. If the vaccine, masking, restricting freedom of association, and lockdowns were beneficial to me, I'd accept it willingly. I would be rushing to accept these things. We wouldn't need to be coerced. Without free will, we become like the stormtroopers in Star Wars, who were ruled by fear, who incidentally were also forced to wear masks. I know that many people are wearing masks out of fear or charity. The problem is, when you force your idea of charity on me, that becomes uncharitable. Charity always needs to be undergirded by free will. This is where the lie of communism resides. Both the people who are fighting for freedom and the people who are fighting to promote these communist ideas have the intention of making life better for people. But the communist says, I'm going to make your life better and you have no choice about it. If something is truly good and helpful, I will accept it willingly. There'll be no need to force anyone. And in a free society, there are also people who willingly can choose not to accept the good. This has to be tolerated. This is respect, and it's critical in a functional society. If we throw away the idea of respect for one another, what happens with these ideas, they break down into what George Orwell called, in his dystopian novel, 1984, he called it groupthink. And this is where your actions and your thoughts affect the group. Communism wants to remove free will and replace it with groupthink. Every day I am meeting with constituents of Niagara Falls who are grateful that the PPC is standing up for their fundamental rights to defend freedom that is our God-given right.
Yes.
Yeah. Many of them are just starting to learn about the PPC, but they're grateful that someone is standing up to stop the spread of these toxic ideas that are restricting our freedom to assemble, that are restricting our freedom to worship, that are restricting our freedom to enjoy one's property. The government is attempting to censor the internet. And we may eventually have medical apartheid in Canada, where we have two classes of citizens, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. We have to say no to vaccine passports. There is one class of citizen in Canada, and there is no justification to discriminate against anyone for their free choices that they are allowed to make. All of these communist ideas have never worked in the past, and they are only going to entrench average Canadians deeper into despair. Fear needs to be countered with courage. Virtue signaling, which is a very common pastime now, needs to be replaced with true compassion. And the forces that are dividing Canadians needs to be countered with charity and love. The big pharma and the globalist narrative, they want people to live in fear. The PPC is fighting to have people live in freedom. In the past, freedom has always won, and it will win now. Because the people fighting for freedom are the courageous, and we have the truth with us. I would rather die on my feet fighting than cower in fear living. Many of the problems we are facing today in Canada is that we have turned our back on traditional values. The principles of freedom, justice, family values, community, and protection of the vulnerable have always brought about joy and peace in a society. We need to return to these ideas that are undergirded by common sense. Now is the time to deliver courage, confidence, and ideas that are moral and just. Our leader, Maxime Bernier, is the only leader of a federal political party that is standing up for the protection of our fundamental, God-given rights. All of the other federal parties are standing behind the narrative that they are being spoon-fed by the mainstream media and the globalists, and they are not taking into account that it is the destruction that it is causing our country.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I intend to fight to restore the rights of our citizens, because dangerous freedom is better than the illusion of safety under tyranny.
Yes!
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming to shop here today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
God bless you, Peter! God bless you!
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to also, while you are waiting here to get into my store, are there any other customers that would like to speak to help pass the time while we're waiting?
Yeah,
Come on up.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shawnee Dirksen, and Michelle and I are running for contestant nominees for St. Catharines for the PPC party. We're very excited to be here.
Very excited.
We want to thank Peter and his wonderful family for having this shopping experience here today. I, for one, love flowers, and I'll be in as soon as it's my turn.
I'll be right behind you, Shelley.
Yeah. Go ahead.
My name is Michelle Shaw. Just to give you a little bit of a history. Well, it's a wonderful day today, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Beautiful day. What weather we're having. So just to give you a little bit of history, a few short years ago, I was watching TV for about 10 minutes. And at that particular time, there was, the election was going on, and there was some people up on the stage. The Conservative Party, the Liberal Party, and then there was this magnificent speaking gentleman. He had a French accent, and everything that he said resonated with me. And I said, who is that? I really, really like him. So the election happened, and I thought, where did he go? Well, about a year ago, he sent me a newsletter, and I was able to go on the platform and look at the platform, and I was so excited. I said, I have got to be a part of this. This is just makes so much common sense to me. So I signed up to be a candidate for St. Catharines for the People's Party of Ontario. And I'm so happy to be here, and I appreciate everybody being here. I've done a few things in my life. I've been a restaurant owner for 8 years. Currently, I'm a nurse, and I really disagree with what's happening in our country, and certainly in our neck of the woods. As Peter was saying, I'm going to recap on it. If it made sense, I would have no problem with it. But to me, it does not make any sense. So I choose to come here and support a cause that I think is going to fight for our freedom, and the only one that I've seen or heard of, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Awesome. What are you buying? What are you going to buy? You buying flowers?
I'm buying all kinds of stuff in the greenhouse, yes.
Awesome.
Flowers, plants, when it's my turn, of course. Shawnee.
So I I didn't really follow Canadian politics very much, to be honest with you. So my whole thing, I watched more American TV than I watched anything else. All of a sudden, my brother's saying to me, Sean Lee, like you're so passionate about the politics that's happening in the States, and he said, why wouldn't you want to check out the PPC? And I said, what are you talking about? I had absolutely no idea. Much like Michelle, until he told me about it, I wasn't even aware that there was a political party that stood up for our freedoms and stood up for what we felt and what we believed. So I went and I checked out the platform like most other people did, and once again I thought, that's it. I have to be part of that. However we decide to move forward with this, both of us are committed to making sure that we're going to help each other. We'll probably be deciding today who's going to be the party.
Go, girls!
The candidate for the PPC, and then we're going to move forward with that, and both of us are going to support each other, and we'd like to be able to support everybody else who wants to be involved. So I'm gonna leave you with one thing for myself. Do you know how you go to like a Zoom meeting? And in that meeting, they always ask you some kind of an icebreaker, right? And they say, so one of them was, what kind of a car? What's your favorite kind of car? And so you go around the room and they say, oh, I like a Corvette, or I like this, or I like that. Well, they got to me and I said, the kind of car I like one that runs. I really like it runs. And you know what? I tried to kind of bring that together with this whole thing for today. I really would like to see Ontario start back up and get it running freely. Yeah. That's what I want.
And that's what great women do. And with that,
I think I got to shop.
Okay. Yeah. I think so. I think it's time.
It's my turn to shop. I think my numbers come up to go in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you to Peter and his wonderful